Cole Harris was bored. He sat at his station on the ship called Starboard and looked at the empty space on his screen. Nothing happened here. Nothing ever happened here. He had joined the United Earth Fleet 5 years ago. He wanted adventure. He wanted to see new worlds and meet new species. He wanted his life to mean something. But for 5 years, he had done nothing but patrol the same empty area of space near the Veltari border. The Veltari were one of the oldest races in the galaxy. They had blue skin and 4 arms. They lived for hundreds of years and controlled 12 star systems. They were not friends with humans, but they were not enemies either. They simply did not care about the young human race. Cole was 28 years old. He came from a small town in Ohio. His mother still lived there, and she sent him messages every week asking when he would come home and find a nice girl to marry. His sister Emma worked as a teacher and always told him he was wasting his life in space. Maybe they were right. Maybe he should go home. The alarm broke through his thoughts. Red lights flashed across the bridge. Captain Patricia Lane stood up from her chair, her face serious. "What do we have?" she asked. The officer at the scanning station, a young woman named Kelly Park, looked at her screen with wide eyes. "Distress signal, Captain. It is coming from a Veltari ship. They are under attack." "Under attack? By who?" "Corax raiders, ma'am. At least 6 ships." Cole felt his heart beat faster. The Corax were bad news. They were a brutal species that attacked ships and took hostages. They sold their prisoners as slaves or held them for ransom. Everyone in the galaxy feared them. Captain Lane walked to the main screen. The image showed a large Veltari transport ship. It was beautiful, with smooth curves and golden decorations. But it was also damaged. Fire and smoke came from several places on its hull. Small Corax ships flew around it like angry insects. "That is a royal transport," Kelly said. "Captain, that ship belongs to the Veltari Imperial family." The bridge went silent. Everyone understood what this meant. If someone important was on that ship and the Corax took them, it could start a war. "Can we help them?" Cole asked. Captain Lane shook her head slowly. "We are 1 ship against 6 Corax raiders. And the Veltari are not our allies. If we get involved, we could create a diplomatic problem. But if we do nothing, people will die." "I know, Lieutenant. But I have to think about my crew first." Cole wanted to argue, but he knew she was right. A captain had to protect their people. That was the rule. Then Kelly spoke again. "Captain, I am seeing an escape pod. It just launched from the Veltari ship. It is heading toward the asteroid field." On the screen, Cole saw a tiny object flying away from the battle. It moved fast, trying to escape the Corax. But the raiders saw it too. 2 of their ships turned and started to chase it. "The pod's life support is failing," Kelly reported. "Whoever is inside has maybe 30 minutes of air left." Captain Lane closed her eyes. "We cannot reach them in time without entering the battle zone." Cole looked at the screen. He looked at the tiny pod running for its life. He thought about going home to Ohio and marrying a nice girl and living a safe, boring life. Then he stood up. "I can take a rescue shuttle," he said. "1 small ship might be able to slip through without being noticed." "Lieutenant Harris, I am ordering you to stay at your station." "With respect." "Captain, I cannot do that." He was already moving toward the door. He heard Captain Lane calling his name, but he did not stop. He ran through the corridors of the Starboard until he reached the shuttle bay. The rescue shuttle was small and fast. Cole had flown it many times during training, but never in a real emergency. His hand shook as he started the engines. The bay doors opened, and he flew out into space. The asteroid field was ahead of him. Huge rocks floated in the darkness, some of them bigger than cities. The escape pod was somewhere inside, and so were the Corax. Cole flew carefully between the asteroids. He kept his ship's power low so the enemy would not see him on their scanners. His heart was pounding so loud he could hear it in his ears. He found the pod floating near a large asteroid. It was not moving anymore. The lights on its hull were very dim. Inside, someone was dying. Cole brought his shuttle close and connected to the pod's emergency hatch. The metal groaned as the two ships joined together. He grabbed a breathing mask and opened the door. The inside of the pod was cold and dark. Emergency lights blinked red. And on the floor, he saw her. She was Valkyrie. Her skin was silver blue, and she had 4 arms. She wore a beautiful dress covered in jewels and gold thread. Her eyes were closed, and she was barely breathing. Cole did not know who she was. He did not care. He only knew that she needed help. He picked her up. She was lighter than he expected, and very cold. Her breath was weak against his neck. He carried her to his shuttle and laid her on the medical bed. The shuttle's computer told him her oxygen levels were very low. Without thinking, Cole took off his own breathing mask and held it over her face. He shared his air with her, breathing in turns, keeping them both alive. That was when the Corax found him. 2 enemy ships appeared on his scanner. They were coming fast, and they were angry. Cole ran to the pilot's seat and started flying. The asteroid field became a maze of death. Cole flew between the huge rocks while the Corax shot at him. Explosions lit up the darkness around him. Pieces of asteroid flew everywhere. One shot hit his shuttle. The ship shook hard, and Cole felt pain in his shoulder. He looked down and saw blood on his uniform. A piece of metal had cut him, but he could not stop. He had to keep flying. Another shot hit the back of the shuttle. Warning lights flashed everywhere. The engine was damaged. He was losing power, but he could see the starward now. It was close. So close. Cole pushed the shuttle as hard as he could. The Corax were right behind him. One more shot would destroy him. Then the starward's weapons opened fire. Bright beams of light flew past Cole's shuttle and hit the Corax ships. The raiders turned and ran away. They were not brave enough to fight a real warship. Cole flew into the starward shuttle bay and crashed more than landed. The shuttle scraped across the floor and hit the wall. Everything went dark. When Cole woke up, he was in the medical bay. His shoulder was wrapped in bandages, and Dr. Henry Shaw was standing over him. "You are a fool," the doctor said. "A brave fool, but still a fool." "The woman," Cole said. His voice was rough. "The one I brought back. Is she alive?" "She is alive. Thanks to you." The doctor shook his head. "Do you know who you saved, Lieutenant?" "No. Her name is Alindra. She is the princess of the Valkyrie Empire, the Emperor's only daughter." Cole stared at the ceiling. He had saved a princess. He did not know if that was good or bad. He only knew that he had done the right thing. In the room next door, Princess Alindra opened her violet eyes for the first time since the attack. The first thing she asked about was the human who had saved her life. And in that moment, without knowing it, both of their lives changed forever. 3 weeks passed after the rescue. Cole's shoulder healed slowly. The cut had been deep, but Dr. Shaw was good at his job. Soon, Cole was back at his station, doing the same boring work as before. Captain Lane had been angry with him. She had yelled at him for disobeying her orders. She had told him he could have died. She had told him he could have started a war between humans and the Valkyrie. But then she had smiled and said she was proud of him. The Valkyrie sent a message to thank the Starward for saving their princess. It was a formal message, very polite and very cold. Cole had not expected anything more. He had saved a life. That was enough reward for him. Princess Alindra had left the ship 2 days after the rescue. A Valkyrie medical ship had come to take her home. Cole had watched from a window as she was carried away. She had looked back at the starward once, but he did not know if she had seen him. He thought about her sometimes. He wondered if she was okay. He wondered if she ever thought about him. Life went back to normal. Cole did his work. He ate his meals. He slept in his small room. He read messages from his mother and sister. Everything was the same as before. Then the Valkyrie came. The ship appeared without warning. One moment, the space around the starward was empty. The next moment, there was a massive Valkyrie cruiser floating beside them. It was 10 times bigger than the starward. Its hull was covered in gold and precious stones. It looked like a palace flying through space. Captain Lane ordered everyone to battle stations, but the Valkyrie sent a message immediately. They were not here to fight. They were here for Lieutenant Cole Harris. Cole stood on the bridge and watched the Valkyrie ship on the screen. He felt sick to his stomach. What did they want with him? Had he done something wrong? Maybe saving the princess had been a crime in their culture. Maybe they had come to arrest him. A transport pod flew from the Valkyrie ship to the starward. Minutes later, 3 aliens walked onto the bridge. They were tall and beautiful, with deep blue skin and golden eyes. They wore robes made of fabric that seemed to glow with its own light. The one in the middle was the leader. He was older than the others, and his face was very serious. He looked around the bridge like everything was beneath him. "I am High Emissary Thalarin," he said. His voice was deep and powerful. "I speak for His Eternal Majesty, Emperor Valarin of House Vethros, ruler of the 12 systems." Captain Lane stepped forward. "I am Captain Patricia Lane. Welcome to the starward. How can we help you?" Thalarin did not look at her. His golden eyes moved across the bridge until they found Cole. "You are Lieutenant Cole Harris," he said. It was not a question. Cole nodded. He could not speak. "By the command of the Emperor, you are summoned to Valkyrie Prime. His Majesty wishes to honor you for saving the life of Princess Alindra." Cole finally found his voice. "Honor me? How?" "That is for the Emperor to decide. You will come with us now." Captain Lane stepped between Cole and the emissary. "He's a member of my crew. He cannot leave without proper authorization from Earth Command." Thalarin looked at her for the first time. "Your Earth Command has already been contacted. They have given their permission. Lieutenant Harris will come with us. This is not a request." There was nothing more to say. Cole went to his room and packed his few belongings. He said goodbye to his friends on the ship. Dr. Shaw told him to be careful. Kelly Park told him she would miss him. Captain Lane shook his hand and told him to make humanity proud. The journey to Valkyrie Prime took 6 days. Cole spent most of that time in a small but beautiful room on the Valkyrie ship. He had a bed that was softer than anything he had ever slept on. He had food that was strange but delicious. He had a window that showed him the stars. He also had a teacher. Her name was Lisa Morgan, and she worked for the Earth Diplomatic Service. She had been sent to help Cole prepare for meeting the Emperor. Lisa was a small woman with short brown hair and smart eyes. She knew everything about Valkyrie culture. She taught Cole how to bow properly. She taught him how to speak to royalty. She taught him which words were polite and which words were insults. "The most important thing," Lisa said, "is to never show fear. The Valkyrie respects strength. If you seem weak, they will not respect you." "I am not afraid," Cole said. Lisa smiled. "You are a terrible liar, Lieutenant. But that is okay. Just pretend not to be afraid. That is good enough." On the 6th day, they arrived at Valkyrie Prime. Cole had seen pictures of the planet, but pictures could not prepare him for the real thing. The world was beautiful in a way that hurt his eyes. The sky was purple, and 3 moons hung in it like pearls. The land was covered in crystal forests and silver rivers. Everything seemed to glow. The capital city was called Veltharis. It was built from a material that looked like glass but was stronger than steel. The buildings rose up like frozen flames, tall and pointed and shining in the light of the three moons, and in the center of the city was the palace, the imperial palace of House. Veltharis was the largest building Cole had ever seen. It seemed to grow out of the ground itself, like a crystal mountain shaped by giants. Its towers reached so high that clouds formed around them. Its walls were covered in carvings that told stories of ancient wars and great heroes. Cole walked through the palace with Lisa at his side and guards in front of and behind them. The corridors were endless. The ceilings were so high that birds flew inside the building. The floors were made of stone that showed images of stars and planets. Every Veltharis they passed stopped to look at Cole. He was the only human in the palace. He was probably the only human who had ever walked these halls. They stared at him like he was a strange animal in a zoo. Finally, they reached the throne room. The doors were 50 feet tall and made of solid gold. When they opened, Cole saw a room so big that it had its own weather. Clouds floated near the ceiling. Light came from somewhere above, like sunlight through a crystal. Thousands of Veltharis filled the room. They stood in perfect lines on both sides of a long path that led to the throne. They all wore beautiful clothes and expensive jewelry. They all watched Cole with curious eyes dotted at the end of the path. On a throne made of white crystal sat Emperor Valoran. The emperor was old. His skin was dark navy blue, almost black. His face was covered in lines and scars. He had 6 eyes, all of them gold, all of them sharp and intelligent. He wore a crown that seemed to be made of frozen starlight. Beside him sat a beautiful woman who must have been the Empress. And next to her, standing with her hands folded, was Princess Alindra. Cole's heart jumped when he saw her. She was even more beautiful than he remembered. Her silver blue skin was healthy and glowing. Her violet eyes were bright and alive. She was looking right at him, and there was something in her expression that he could not understand. He walked forward. His legs felt weak, but he did not show it. He remembered what Lisa had taught him. He stopped at the proper distance from the throne and bowed low. "Your Majesty," he said, "I am honored to stand before you." The emperor studied him for a long moment. When he spoke, his voice was like thunder rolling across mountains. "Lieutenant Cole Harris, you saved my daughter's life. You flew into battle without weapons. You breathed your own air into her lungs. You took wounds that were meant for her." The emperor leaned forward. Why? Cole thought about the question. He thought about all the things he could say. He thought about politics and diplomacy and all the clever answers Lisa had taught him. Then he told the truth. Because she needed help. Because it was the right thing to do. "I did not know she was a princess. I only knew she was a person who was dying, and I could save her." The room was silent. The emperor's 6 eyes studied Cole like they were looking into his soul. "You humans are a strange species," the emperor said slowly. "You run into danger for strangers. You risk your lives for people you do not know. My advisors call this foolishness, but I wonder if it is something more." He stood up from his throne. All around the room, thousands of Veltharis fell to their knees. Lisa grabbed Cole's arm and pulled him down. "By the ancient laws of our people," the emperor declared, "he who saves the life of the imperial heir has earned a debt that cannot be paid with gold or land. There is only one way to repay such a debt." Cole felt cold fear spreading through his body. Something bad was coming. He could feel it. "Lieutenant Cole Harris, you will marry my daughter. You will become a prince of the Veltharis Empire. Your children will carry the blood of 2 worlds." The words hit Cole like a punch to the chest. He looked up at the emperor in shock. He looked at Alindra, who was still watching him with that strange expression. He opened his mouth to speak, but no words came out. His life had just changed forever, and he had no idea what to do. Cole sat alone in his room in the palace. The room was beautiful. It had soft furniture and golden decorations and windows that looked out at the purple sky. But Cole did not see any of it. His mind was spinning with thoughts. Marry a princess. Become a prince. Father children who would rule an empire. This was insane. This was impossible. He was a simple man from Ohio. He had grown up in a small house with a small family. He had eaten normal food and gone to normal schools and lived a normal life. He was not special. He was nobody. And now they wanted him to marry royalty. Guards stood outside his door. They said they were there to protect him, but Cole knew the truth. He was a prisoner in a golden cage. He could not leave even if he wanted to. Lisa Morgan came to see him an hour after the ceremony. "I talked to Earth Command," she said. Her face was serious. "They want you to go through with the marriage." "What?" Cole stood up so fast that his chair fell over. "They cannot order me to get married. They are not ordering you. They are asking you very strongly." Lisa sat down and rubbed her eyes. "Think about it, Cole. The Velthri have technology we cannot even imagine. They control 12 star systems. An alliance through marriage would be the biggest diplomatic achievement in human history. But what about my life? What about what I want? Your government believes your personal wishes are less important than the good of all humanity." Cole laughed, but there was no happiness in it. "So I have no choice. There might be one way out." Lisa lowered her voice. "I learned something about Velthri law. The princess can cancel the marriage if she wants to. She invoked something called the right of the heart. It means she agreed to marry you. But she can also disagree. Then I need to talk to her. I need to convince her to cancel this. That might be hard. From what I have heard, she does not want to cancel it." Cole stared at Lisa. "Why?" "She does not even know me. I do not know. But the servants say she's been different since the rescue. Happier, more alive. They say she talks about you all the time." This made no sense. Cole had carried her to his shuttle while she was unconscious. They had never spoken. They had never even looked at each other while both were awake. How could she have feelings for someone she did not know? He was still thinking about this when the door opened. Princess Alindra walked in without knocking. She was wearing a simple dress this time, not the formal clothes from the throne room. Her silver blue hair hung loose around her shoulders. Her violet eyes were fixed on Cole. "Leave us," she said to Lisa. Lisa looked at Cole. He nodded. She left quickly, closing the door behind her. Cole and Alindra stood looking at each other. The silence was heavy. "You are angry," Alindra said finally. Her voice was soft, like music. "I am confused. I am scared. I am a lot of things." Cole took a breath. "Why are you doing this? Why did you agree to marry me?" "Because I chose to." "But why?" "You do not know me. We have never talked before today." Alindra walked to the window. The light of the 3 moons made her skin glow. "When I was a child, my mother was killed. She was attacked by raiders, just like I was. But there was no one to save her. She died alone in the cold of space." Cole said nothing. He just listened. "After that, I stopped believing in good people. I thought everyone only cared about themselves. I thought kindness was just a lie people told to get what they wanted." She turned to look at him. "Then you saved me. I was just doing my job." "No, your job was to stay on your ship. Your captain ordered you to stay. But you came anyway. You flew into danger alone. You shared your breath with me when I was dying. You took wounds protecting me." Her voice shook a little. "You did not know I was a princess. You did not want a reward. You just wanted to help." She walked closer to Cole. He could smell her now, a scent like flowers and winter air. "My people have a word. Velthara. It means a connection between souls. Most Velthari think it is just an old story, not real. But when I woke up on your ship, I felt it. I felt connected to you in a way I cannot explain. I do not understand. Neither do I, but I know what I feel. She took his hands in hers. She had 4 hands, and they were soft and warm. I am not forcing you into this marriage, Cole. If you truly want to leave, I will cancel everything. I will face my father's anger. I will let you go. Cole looked into her violet eyes. He saw a truth there. She meant what she said. But I am asking you to stay, she continued. I am asking you to give this a chance. Give us a chance. Not because of politics or duty. Because of what you feel. I do not know what I feel. I do not know anything anymore. Then take time to learn. We have 3 weeks before the wedding. Spend that time with me. Let me show you my world. Let me show you who I am. She squeezed his hands. And if at the end you still want to leave, I will not stop you. Cole's mind was a storm. Part of him wanted to run. Part of him wanted to stay. Part of him was curious about this strange woman who spoke of soul connections and choice. 3 weeks, he said slowly. 3 weeks. And if I decide to leave, you will really let me go? I promise. He looked at her for a long time. She did not look away. There was hope in her eyes, but also fear. She was afraid he would reject her. This powerful princess, heir to 12 star systems, was afraid of him. Okay, Cole said. 3 weeks. Alindra smiled. It was the most beautiful smile Cole had ever seen. The next 3 weeks were unlike anything in Cole's life. Every day, Alindra showed him something new about her world. She took him to the floating gardens, where plants from 100 planets grew in 0 gravity. She took him to the great library, a building that contained more books than all the libraries on Earth combined. She took him to the crystal caves, where music came from the walls themselves, and they talked. They talked for hours about everything. She told him about growing up as a princess, about the pressure and the loneliness and the expectations. He told her about his family in Ohio, about his mother who worried too much and his sister who always knew what to say. She laughed at his jokes. He found himself smiling at hers. Slowly, without noticing it, they started to become friends. Other things changed too. Cole started to see the Velthari differently. He had always thought of them as cold and proud. But he learned that they had deep emotions. They just showed them in different ways. He learned about their art and their music and their history. He learned that they were people just like humans, with hopes and fears and dreams. On the 15th day, something happened. They were walking through the palace gardens at night. The 3 moons were full, and everything was painted in silver light. Alindra was telling him about a war her ancestors had fought 1,000 years ago. Then she tripped on a stone. Cole caught her without thinking. His arms went around her body. Her face was close to his. He could see every detail of her silver blue skin, every light in her violet eyes. Neither of them moved. Cole, she whispered. Yes? I am going to kiss you now. If you do not want that, please say so. He did not say anything. She kissed him. It was soft and warm and strange and wonderful. Cole had never kissed an alien before. He had never thought about kissing an alien. But in that moment, she was not an alien. She was just Alindra. And he wanted to kiss her back. So he did. When they finally separated, Alindra was crying. What is wrong? Cole asked, alarmed. Nothing is wrong. Everything is right. She touched his face with her gentle hands. I have been waiting for you my whole life. I just did not know it until now. Cole did not know what to say. He did not know what to think. But he knew what he felt. He felt happy. For the first time in a very long time, he felt truly happy. The 3 weeks were almost over. Cole had a choice to make. And for the first time, he was not sure he wanted to leave. 2 days before the wedding, Emperor Valoran asked to see Cole alone. Cole walked through the endless corridors of the palace with fear in his heart. He had not spoken to the emperor since that first day in the throne room. The old ruler was powerful and frightening. His 6 golden eyes seemed to see everything. The guards led Cole to a private garden inside the palace. It was a small space filled with trees that glowed with soft blue light. A fountain made of crystal stood in the center. The emperor sat on a bench beside it, looking older and more tired than Cole had ever seen him. "Sit," the emperor said. Cole sat for a long moment. Neither of them spoke. The emperor looked at the glowing trees, lost in thought. Cole waited, his hands folded in his lap. "You have spent 3 weeks with my daughter," the emperor finally said. "Tell me what you think of her." Cole thought carefully before answering. "She is kind. She is smart. She is funny when she wants to be. She cares about her people more than she cares about herself." "That does not answer my question. What do you think of her?" "I think—" Cole paused. "I think she is the most amazing person I have ever met." The emperor turned to look at him. His 6 eyes were not cold now. They were curious. "When I demanded this marriage, I had political reasons. The Valkyrie Empire is strong, but the galaxy is changing. New species are rising. Old enemies are growing bolder. An alliance with humanity could help us survive." He paused. "But I am also a father. My daughter's happiness matters to me more than politics." "I understand. Do you?" "My first wife, Alindra's mother, was killed by raiders when my daughter was 7 years old. After that, Alindra changed. She became cold and distant. She did not trust anyone. She did not let anyone close to her heart." The emperor's voice grew soft. "I have watched my daughter these past 3 weeks. She laughs now. She smiles. She is happy in a way I have not seen since her mother died." Cole did not know what to say. "You did that," the emperor continued. "You brought my daughter back to life. Not just when you saved her from the raiders, but now, by being with her, by letting her love you." He looked directly into Cole's eyes. "I need to know if you feel the same." Cole stopped. This was the question he had been asking himself for days. "I do not know if I believe in soul bonds or destiny. I do not know if I believe in love at first sight. But I know that when I am with Alindra, I feel like a better person. I know that the thought of leaving her hurts me in a way I cannot explain. Is that love? I do not know. But it might become love if I let it." The emperor nodded slowly. "That is an honest answer. Perhaps more honest than I expected from a human." He stood up and walked to the fountain. The crystal water reflected the light of the glowing trees. "Tomorrow is the presentation ceremony," he said. "You and Alindra will stand before the representatives of all 12 systems. You will be shown to the galaxy as the future of the Valkyrie Empire. After that, canceling the wedding becomes much harder." "Is that a warning?" "It is information. I want you to understand what you are choosing." The emperor turned back to face Cole. "If you marry my daughter, your life will never be simple again. You will be a prince of an empire. You will have enemies who want to kill you. You will have responsibilities you cannot imagine. You will never go back to being a simple soldier from Earth." Cole thought about his old life. The boring patrols. The empty space on his screen. The messages from his mother asking him to come home. That life seemed very far away now. "And if I leave?" he asked. "Then you will go back to that life. My daughter will be hurt, but she will survive. In time, she will marry someone else, someone from a noble Valkyrie family, and you will never see her again." The words hit Cole hard. Never see her again. Never hear her laugh. Never feel her hands in his. Never wake up to her violet eyes watching him. "I need to think," he said. "You have until tomorrow." Cole left the garden with his mind full of chaos. That night, Alindra came to his room. She was wearing a simple robe, and her hair was wet like she had just bathed. She looked beautiful and sad. "My father talked to you," she said. "Yes. He told you that you can still leave." "Yes." She sat down on the edge of his bed. Her hands were shaking. "I want you to know something. If you leave, I will not hate you. I will not blame you. I understand that this is too much, too fast. You did not ask for any of this." Cole sat beside her. "Neither did you. That is different. I chose this. You did not." She looked at her hands. "When I invoked the right of the heart, I knew there was a chance you would reject me. I knew it might end in pain. But I had to try. Because when I woke up on your ship and learned what you had done for me, I knew that I would spend the rest of my life looking for you if I let you go. Alindra, let me finish." She took a deep breath. "These 3 weeks have been the happiest of my life. You make me laugh. You make me feel normal, not like a princess, just like a person. When I am with you, I forget about politics and duty and all the weight I carry. I just feel free." Tears were falling down her face now, but she did not wipe them away. "I love you, Cole Harris. I know that is crazy. I know we have only known each other for 3 weeks. But I love you. And if you leave tomorrow, that love will not go away. It will stay with me forever, like a wound that never heals." Cole felt his own eyes getting wet. He had never been good with emotions. He had grown up in a family where people did not talk about feelings. But here, now, with this alien woman crying beside him, he felt everything. "I am scared," he said. "I am scared of this world. I am scared of being a prince. I am scared of failing you and your people. I am scared of everything changing. I know. But I am more scared of leaving you." He took her hands, all 4 of them. "When I think about going back to my old life, it feels empty. When I think about never seeing you again, it feels like dying. Maybe that is not love yet. Maybe it is just the beginning of love. But I want to find out. I want to stay." Alindra looked at him with hope in her eyes. "You mean it?" "I mean it. I am not running away. I am choosing to be with you. Whatever happens next, we will face it together." She threw her arms around him and held him tight. He held her back. They stayed like that for a long time, not speaking, just breathing together. Outside, the 3 moons rose into the purple sky. The city of Velthuris glowed like a field of stars. And somewhere in the palace, Emperor Valorn smiled for the first time in many years. The next day, Cole stood before representatives from 12 star systems. He wore clothes made of fabric that shimmered like liquid silver. Beside him, Alindra glowed with happiness. "This is Cole Harris of Earth," the Emperor announced to the crowd. "He saved my daughter's life, and tomorrow he will become her husband. He will be a prince of the Velthuri Empire. He will help lead our people into a new age." The crowd cheered. Somewhere in the audience, Lisa Morgan was crying tears of joy. A message was being sent to Earth, telling humanity that one of their own was about to become royalty. Cole looked at Alindra. She looked at him. They were both terrified. They were both excited. They were both ready. Tomorrow, everything would change forever, and neither of them could wait. The day of the wedding arrived. Cole woke up early, too nervous to sleep. Servants came to his room to help him prepare. They bathed him in water that smelled like flowers from distant planets. They dressed him in robes that combined Velthuri and human traditions, silver and blue fabric with touches of earth, green and brown. He looked at himself in the mirror and did not recognize the man looking back. His mother was coming. A fast ship had been sent to Earth to bring her and his sister Emma. They had arrived just hours ago, and Cole had not yet had time to see them. He wondered what they would think of all this. Their son and brother marrying an alien princess in a palace made of crystal. A knock came at the door. It was Lisa Morgan. "How are you feeling?" she asked. "Like I'm going to be sick." Lisa laughed. "That is normal for weddings, I think." She handed him a small box. "Your mother asked me to give you this." Cole opened the box. Inside was an old compass. It had belonged to his grandfather, then his father, then Cole. He had brought it with him when he joined the fleet. It was the only piece of home he had carried into space. "She said to give it to someone special," Lisa said. "She said your grandfather gave it to your grandmother on their wedding day." Cole closed the box and held it tight. He knew what he was going to do with it. The wedding ceremony was held in the great throne room. Thousands of guests filled the space, representatives from every corner of the Velthri Empire. There were also humans, diplomats, and officers sent by Earth to witness this historic moment. And in the front row, Cole saw his mother. Grace Harris was a small woman with gray hair and kind eyes. She was crying already, even though the ceremony had not started. Beside her, Emma was holding her hand and trying not to cry herself. Cole walked to his place at the altar. The walk seemed to take forever. Every step felt heavy. Every breath felt loud. But he kept moving forward, one foot after another, until he reached the front. Emperor Valoran stood at the altar, ready to perform the ceremony himself. The Empress was beside him, looking proud and beautiful. And all around, the great nobles of the Velthri Empire watched and waited. Then the music started. It was not like any music Cole had heard before. It was made of sounds that humans could only partly hear. Deep notes and high notes woven together into something that felt like starlight. And sadness and hope all mixed into one. The great doors opened. Alendra walked in. She was wearing a dress made of captured starlight. That was the only way to describe it. The fabric seemed to glow from within, soft and bright and beautiful. Her silver blue skin was perfect. Her violet eyes were shining with tears. Her forearms carried different objects. One hand held a crystal, clear as water. One hand held a small flame that burned without heat. One hand held a seed from a plant that was 10,000 years old, and one hand held an old compass that Cole had given her the night before. The compass had not been part of the traditional ceremony. The priests had complained. They said it was not proper. But Alendra had insisted. She said that human traditions were part of this wedding too, and the compass would stay. She walked slowly down the long aisle. Every eye in the room was on her. But her eyes were only on Cole. When she reached the altar, she stood beside him. They looked at each other. No words were needed. Emperor Valoran raised his hands, and the room fell silent. "We are gathered here to witness a union unlike any in our history," the Emperor said. His voice filled the huge room. A human and a Velthri. Two species from different stars. Two hearts that found each other across the darkness of space. He looked at Cole and Alendra with pride. In our ancient traditions, marriage is more than a contract. It is a joining of souls. It is a promise to face the future together, no matter what comes. Today, we create something new. Not just a marriage, but a bridge between our peoples. The Emperor stepped back. It was time for the vows. Cole had worked on his vows for days. He had written them and rewritten them. He had asked Lisa for help. He had even asked his mother. But in the end, he had decided to speak from his heart. "Alendra," he began. His voice was shaking. "I came to your world as a stranger. I was scared and confused and did not know what to do. But you showed me kindness. You showed me patience. You showed me that love can grow in the strangest places." He paused to catch his breath. I cannot promise to be a perfect prince. I will make mistakes. I will say the wrong thing and do the wrong thing. But I can promise to always try. I can promise to stand beside you in good times and bad times. I can promise to learn your ways and share mine. And I can promise to love you with everything I have, for as long as I live. Tears were streaming down Alindra's face now. Her voice was steady when she spoke her own vows. Cole Harris, you saved my life. But more than that, you saved my heart. Before you, I was cold and closed off. I did not believe in goodness or love. You showed me that I was wrong. You showed me that there are people who will risk everything for strangers, who will share their last breath with someone they do not know. She reached out and took his hands. I take you as my husband, not because of law or duty, but because my soul recognized yours the moment we met. With you, I am not a princess or an heir. I am simply Alindra, and that is enough. Emperor Valoran smiled. Then by the power of the Velthari throne, I declare you joined. From this day forward, you are one. Cole and Alindra kissed, and something happened that no one expected. Light burst from where their hands were joined. It was soft and warm and spread outward like ripples on water. The whole throne room was filled with golden glow. The priests gasped. The nobles whispered. Even the emperor looked shocked. Velthara, someone said. True Velthara. Cole did not understand what was happening, but he felt it. A connection, deeper than anything he had known before. He could feel Alindra's joy as if it were his own. He could feel her love wrapping around him like a warm blanket. What is this? He asked. The soul bond, Alindra whispered. I told you it was real. I told you I felt it. I feel it now too. They held each other as the light slowly faded. All around them, the witnesses were silent with awe. They had seen something that had not happened in 1,000 years. True Velthara, a real connection between souls, proven beyond doubt. The celebration lasted for 3 days. There was feasting and dancing and music from 100 worlds. Cole's mother danced with the emperor, which became a story she would tell for the rest of her life. Emma met a young Velthari noble and spent most of the party talking to him, her face red with embarrassment and excitement. Lisa Morgan managed to arrange 3 trade agreements while everyone was happy. She said it was the best time for diplomacy. On the 3rd night, Cole and Alindra finally escaped the celebration. They found a quiet balcony overlooking the Crystal City. The 3 moons were full, and the sky was painted in shades of purple and silver. Are you happy? Alindra asked. More than I ever thought possible. Cole put his arm around her. A month ago, I was bored on a patrol ship, thinking my life meant nothing. Now, I am married to a princess, and I can feel your heart beating alongside mine. Do you regret it? Leaving your old life behind? My old life was empty. This life is full. He kissed her forehead. I found something worth staying for. They stood together in silence, watching the city glow beneath them. In the palace behind them, guests from 2 species celebrated together. On Earth, people were celebrating too, proud that one of their own had become royalty. Across the galaxy, the news was spreading. A human had married a Velthari princess. The universe would never be the same. What do you think our children will be like? Alindra asked. Stubborn, Cole said. Definitely stubborn. Like their father. Like their mother. She laughed. And the sound was like bells in the night air. Cole Harris, the simple man from Ohio who had just wanted to help someone in need, had accidentally changed the history of 2 civilizations. He had saved a princess, won her heart, and become a bridge between the stars. And he was just getting started. The future stretched out before them like an unwritten story. There would be challenges and dangers. There would be enemies who wanted them to fail. There would be moments of doubt and fear. But there would also be love, There would be laughter. There would be children who carried the blood of two worlds in their veins. Cole looked at his wife, at her violet eyes and silver blue skin and four gentle hands. He still did not fully understand this strange connection between them. He still did not know if he believed in soul bonds or destiny, but he believed in her. He believed in them, and that was enough. The 3 moons hung in the purple sky. The crystal city glowed with 1,000 lights. And somewhere in the palace, a human and his alien bride began their journey into the unknown, hand in hand, heart to heart, forever bound by love that crossed the stars. The end.